and welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, September 17th, 2020. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. Services at the Accident and Emergency Department at the Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center in Georgetown resumed around midday today after it was closed temporarily yesterday because health authorities said a COVID-19 patient had exposed 17 others to the virus. A release issued last evening by the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, said a temporary closure was to allow for the sanitization of the department following the discovery of a person known to be COVID-19 positive in that area. NEMO said the individual who was informed of their positive result on Friday, September 11th and served with a medical officer order violated the isolation order, thus possibly exposing others to the COVID-19 virus. The release said all 10 exposed clients and 7 members of staff have been advised to quarantine and will be screened over the next 5 to 7 days for COVID-19. Meanwhile, SVG has no known active COVID-19 cases. The National Emergency Management Organization said in a news release this evening that this was confirmed by the receipt today of negative PCR results, which completed the multi-tier testing protocol in place in SVG. The Vincentian nationals who arrived from the British Virgin Islands, the BVI, on Saturday, September 5th, was swabbed on September 10th and tested positive for SARS-CoV-2 on Friday, September 11th, in keeping with the protocols. Additional RT-PCR tests were done at the molecular lab unit of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment and at CAFRA and returned negative results for SARS-CoV-2. All passengers who arrived on American Airlines 945 from Miami on Saturday, September 12th, 2020 were found to be negative on RT-PCR testing for SARS-CoV-2 and have been released from their transition quarantine hotels. To date, SVG has recorded 64 COVID-19 cases, all of whom have been classified as recovered. The public is again reminded of the common responsibility to ensure that everyone adheres to all of the locally established protocols aimed at reducing the risk of the importation and subsequent transmission of COVID-19 in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In other news, a person's educational foundation is key to a good academic future, and 6 educators were recognized by the Ministry of Education for their tireless contributions in the field of early childhood education. The Early Learners Program, which began in 2016, saw Galen Wickham, Noreen Ferguson, Fitzroy Stapleton, Veronica Kane, Admira Walker, Hassan Matthews Wickham as coordinators. They were charged with addressing the issue of literacy and numeracy among learners. Speaking at a ceremony yesterday, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Michael Burke, said history has proven many times over that education is power which can transform a nation. The Permanent Secretary said it is important to recognize the sacrifices of those who help to advance education in SVG.
Education, there was power. There was power to liberate. In fact, when we consider the Nocturnal Rebellion and the Haitian Revolution, what they saw was what could be accomplished through literacy. They taught us to read, they taught us to write, and it empowered us. Today, as educators, as professionals, we are continuing that trek, and we're moving upwards. We're moving upwards as a people, moving upwards as a nation, and we're doing so on the shoulders of committed individuals. You must be recognized. Roses for the living, not for the dead. So today, receive your roses. Continue your good work. Remain committed to the cause, and remember that all things are possible in Christ. We do the impossible daily. With God, as we say, all things are possible. In the spirit of short, thank you.
Also speaking at the ceremony was Senior Education Officer Aldia Gums-Dyer, who praised the coordinators for the enthusiasm they continue to show. Dyer used a quote from Maya Angelou to illustrate why it is so important to celebrate the work done by the coordinators.
It will not surprise you to know that international research shows that organizations that engineer solid strategies to recognize team members enjoy greater engagement, increased employee morale, and stronger relational trust, and ultimately optimal productivity. Colleagues, let us applaud our ministry and pray that this becomes part of our core and not remain in the flex. You will hear of the good work that the ELP coordinators did. You will hear a lot of it, so I will not go over. I just want to go back to Mayor Angelou's quote to say that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Colleagues, today is our feel-good day. I trust that when you leave this program, it will be forever etched in your minds. I welcome you today as we recognize the contribution of our ELP coordinators.
Retired Chief Education Officer Beverly Neptune shared some fun memories she had working alongside the 6 coordinators.
You taught me a number of lessons. The peer study this morning, I don't envy leaders. You led from in front. Ladies, I'm talking to you. And each and every one of us learned how to do it. Even if some of us knew how to do it before, I think we learned it better. I want to congratulate you. You deserve all of the certificates and everything else that you've got. And I have not forgotten you. I'm usually in touch with a few of you. Anything I can do except calling me to speak publicly anymore. It is part of the job, but I don't think I ever really enjoyed it. Congratulations again.
50 years of existence is a significant achievement for any institution, and principal of the Fitzhugh Government School, Myrtle Richards, received much praise as they marked this achievement. The school opened its doors on September 17, 1970, with about 100 students offering classes from Infants 1, now known as kindergarten, up to Junior 3, which is now Grade 2. It was built to ease the overpopulation at the Chateaubelair Methodist School. Speaking at a recently held ceremony in celebration of this significant milestone, Principal Richards said the school provided educational opportunities, which in turn allows for the development of the community and the nation. And she encouraged the community to continue to support the institution.
Congratulate those persons who have journeyed with us over the years. The Ministry of Education, the staff and students, past and present, of the school, the community of Fitzhugh. We thank you all for enabling us to celebrate this great milestone of our Golden Jubilee. It is because of you why we are here today. The achievement of the Golden Jubilee is what the herald. I encourage you to continue to ensure the longevity and development of the Fitzhugh Government School. 50 years of educating a community and building a nation is no easy feat. So I say to us all, long live the Fitzhugh Government School. We survived 50. We will survive 50 more, even in this new normal. So we give God thanks for bringing us here today, and we wish all of us 50 more golden years.
Also making remarks was Area Representative Roland Patel Matthews, who said educational institutions can assist in molding the future generation and encouraged the Fitzhugh Government School to continue with its nation-building work.
I love Fitzhugh Government School, and of course I do, and that's the reason why I sent 2 of my sons here. One of them is still here. You know, I consider myself a part of the community, of the extended family of the community. And I'm proud that an institution like this is continuing to make an impact on the community of Fitzhugh. You have heard in the principal's report about the many, many persons that Fitzhugh Government School is so proud of. From doctor, nurses, teachers, you name it. Persons within the education ministry, like my former student, Mr. Stapleton. These are persons who the community of Fitzhugh are very proud of. And I know, and I wish them another 50 years and beyond, they will continue to produce meaningful citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and in particular Fitzhugh. Again, I want to say thank you very much for giving me the occasion to be here, and I wish you 50, another 50, another 50 more years as you continue to educate the nation.
Representative from the Ministry of Education, Joycelyn Blake Brown, thanked the parents of the community for enrolling their children in the institution and the teachers for their continued hard work.
The fact that the parents especially, which we want to thank at this moment, for believing in the Fitzhugh Government School. That's why you have enrolled your children here over the years. And the fact that the school population is overgrowing. We need an additional building to house the students in more comfort. So definitely that will be taken back to the Cabinet Secretary. So we are indeed pleased that you have been educating students who are well-rounded, who are fit to take their rightful places in the society. Not just here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but abroad. So we want to encourage you to continue to deliver. And I must thank you, especially the staff, during COVID-19 period. I know we are still in COVID-19, but I'm referring to the time when you return to school in June to prepare the students for their final examination. I know it was such a task to be online. Many of the students did not have their devices, connectivity, and other issues, but you engage the students online. So on behalf of the Ministry of Education, I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you.
Parents nationwide have been challenged to show their children love and believe in their potential. This challenge was issued by Pastor Dwayne Holder at the Golden Anniversary celebration of the Fitzhugh Government School. The young pastor said children nationwide faces issues of abuse and neglect, which can affect their academic performance. He said despite the challenges parents may face, they must show their children love.
Behaving bad is not because what's happening in school. I could bet you 95% of the time it is what is happening at home. Mommy is telling them all sort of stuff, slapping them up in front of everybody, make them feel embarrassed or less of a person. And therefore your children, when they come to school, don't believe that they are worth something. So they say, we're not come to school for. And while they're in class, in bodily form, their mind is elsewhere. Parents, your children are special. You may not have plenty money, things may be rough, father may not be supporting to get the books, but I want to let you know it is not the end. Show them love, or somebody said give them plenty love.
Pastor Holder said every child has potential and encouraged parents to unearth the best in their child.
Parents, see something special in your children. See a doctor, see a lawyer, see a prime minister, see an engineer, see a carpenter, see a big-time farmer. And let me tell you this, I'm going to come closer to tell you this. farming is not a degradable job. And I was saying, if I wasn't a pastor, I'd run in farming. I'm talking about the marijuana outside of the legal parameters. Talking about vegetables.
Pastor Holder also took the opportunity to challenge students to see the value of hard work and a healthy mind and body.
Go home, you can plant a little thing in your yard. Watch it grow. Those things will help you to appreciate even your schoolwork better. Eat healthy. What is education? Don't eat too much sweet because that will affect your brain and it make you hot after lunchtime. And you can't concentrate on what the teacher said. Try to cut down on the greasy food because more fat in your body, more heat as well. And we live in a hot country. Drink plenty of water because your brain, 85% of it, I'm told, is water. And it's like the hydro plant right down there. Now, I see electrical man from Vinland right there, right? If there's no water running through the hydro plant, what happened? No current. The same with your brain.
The Unity Labour Party has achieved many milestones as a government and has helped Vincentians navigate the New World Order. So says Member of Parliament for Mariaqua, Sinclair Jimmy Prince, who was speaking at the party's second virtual meeting last evening.
Our people have enjoyed a quality of life that surpasses any period in our history since conquest and settlement. So let me once again salute this government, this party, and the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines for taking on the challenges of development so well over the last 2 decades in the interest of all of our people.
Prince said the ULP is the architect of change and the engineer of transformation, and this should be the talking point of all Vincentians at this time.
We are the true revolutionaries in this Vincentian reality. We are the change makers. We are the change. So when they talk about change, they better talk about this. That's what they're talking about. We're talking about that kind of change. We embarked on this revolution in 2001, and we have maintained it by being prescriptive and keeping people at the center of everything that we do. That's the difference between us.
Member of Parliament for South Central Windward, Frederick Stevenson, said since the ULP took office in 2001, it has worked to reduce poverty in the country through targeted programs.
We created an environment where persons in the country can use their talents and their skills. We strengthened the social safety net programs within the Ministry of National Mobilization. We improved in ICT, in housing, in education, in adult education, literacy, and training, among several other initiatives.
That was Member of Parliament for South Windward, Frederick Stevenson, and North South Central Windward. Meanwhile, the ULP candidate for West Kingston and Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Deborah Charles, said the ULP administration has lifted the lives of many Vincentians higher because of its policies. She said the party has also done more to empower women than any other.
This government, women have had opportunities to become homeowners thanks to initiatives created by the 100% mortgage program that this government instituted. Every day, comrades, we see more and more women taking advantage of numerous educational opportunities created to bring them empowerment and advancement. There are some females, there are more female permanent secretaries in this country today than there are males. Indeed, there are many more female police officers working in the force today than when Labour came into office. Because of this Labour government too, comrades, young women learn that a pregnancy does not mean the end of their hopes and dreams, because they're able to return to school and to live up to the expectations that their parents would have had for them.
And Member of Parliament for South Central Windward Soboto Caesar said against all odds the ULP has delivered and continues to deliver in uplifting Vincentians, especially those in the agriculture sector.
Against the odds, over the last 4 terms, we have diversified the agriculture sector. We have built greenhouse parks, renovated packing houses, completed the designs for a more efficient arrowroot factory, and invested in the science of modern production systems. So much so that today, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we pride ourselves as the breadbasket of the Southern Caribbean, feeding Trinidad and Tobago, feeding Barbados and other islands in the Leeward Islands. This will create hundreds of business opportunities for our people in the 5th term as we deepen the diversification process.
Caesar said with a 5th term in office, the party will build on its platform and will leave no one behind as it continues to transform the country's economy.
The opening of Rainforest Foods and several new hotels, we will need more fish. This again will create hundreds of jobs for our young people. A dolphin prison or a park is not the solution. Comrades, over the last 4 terms, we developed a thriving livestock subsector in this country, where today we are the largest exporter of livestock in the OECS. Thanks to our livestock farmers, our local butchers, and Jew Jack of Grenada. In the 5th term, we will lift the livestock subsector higher. We will build an abattoir, cross new frontiers by importing more resilient breeds, address the vexing issue of predial larceny and the unjustifiable destruction of animals by stray dogs.